Hey, welcome everyone to What Women Want Show. Happy New Year. It's Judy Goss and Kristen West. And after almost 5 years of broadcasting on LA Talk Radio as a radio show, we are finally taking a step out into the wild blue yonder and showing our faces. And
Exactly.
we're so excited. Because Kristen, I am so tired of not interacting with our audience. I want to hear what they have to comment, what they have, the questions they have. I want to hear the topics you guys want us to talk about. What do you say, Kristen?
No, I think it's a new year to try new and exciting things and to bring a little bit more interactivity to the show. We have so many wonderful members of our audience who contribute and give us feedback week after week, and it's a way to get them on the show and include their thoughts, because we really are a community. If you've went to the conference, you figured that out. We're a vibrant community of women that are all very opinionated and all have a lot to share. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to really get more in depth with some of the important topics that we want to address in the new year.
I don't think I'm opinionated.
Oh, I think you are. I know I am.
We are both are. And you know what? That's what makes us uniquely us. So I'm actually looking at the Facebook page. I don't see it popping up, but I'm sure it's there. Oh, there we are. Awesome. I'm so excited again. Everyone, welcome. And, first of all, as always, we want to thank all of you, our faithful, loyal listeners for the past, like I said, almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in April. And it's just so exciting to finally be on camera. And until we can get our professional studio and all of the camera gear and all the crew and all that up and going in LA, we decided to put out our show here on Facebook Live through Be Live TV. So it's really exciting. And we want to just thank you for following us through the years. So we're going to be here every week, whether you like it or not, at 8 p.m. Eastern. 5 p.m. Pacific for 30 minutes. It's going to be a 30-minute show from 8 to 8:30. And starting next week, we'll actually be bringing guests on. It's not just going to be Kristen and I babbling for 30 minutes every week, but we're going to have some really exciting guests on. And tonight, our show is Resolution Solution. Okay, because we need to find out a solution to sticking to these resolutions, or maybe not even making one in the first place. And next week with our first guest, we are going to be interviewing a woman named Mary Francis. Now, she is going to be talking about the dark side of the Super Bowl, sex trafficking. And this is a subject that I've always been so interested in becoming more involved. It's close to my heart. I have twin teenage girls. They're 14 years old, and that's really the average age where the girls, begin to get approached for that type of thing, kidnapped and all kinds of unmentionable things. So we're going to interview Mary Francis about that. The Atlanta has been on the FBI's top 10 list for the biggest area of sex trafficking in America. And we're going to talk about how the Super Bowl is involved in all that. And it's one of the biggest sports events of the year, but it's also one of the biggest trafficking events of the year. So I'm excited to hear what she has to say about that and what we can do to help her. And for tonight, it's just Kristen and I. We're having this pre-launch type of show. We're very excited to test all this out, BeLive.tv. And we're going to talk about, like I said, resolution and solution. And most of you know that way back when I started out as a high fashion model, and I have moved to TV hosting. Here I am on this show. And also I'm a host on AWE TV for a show called Behind the Gates. I'm also a regular contributor on NBC and Fox. And I'm an entrepreneur. As Kristen mentioned before, we have the What Women Want show, but we also have What Women Want Networking and What Women Want Conference. So it's very exciting. It's a yearly national conference. I'm also a St. Martin's Press published author. And like I said before, my biggest and most important job is being the mom of teenage twin girls, which is at a very interesting time right now with the three of us in the house together. Oh my gosh. So that's all I have to say about me. I could go on and on, but I want to hear about Kristen and what you have going on. You're just so incredibly talented, and I'm so happy to be seeing you instead of just kind of trying to like psychically imagine what you're thinking or doing so I can like kind of jump to the next thing and make it seem kind of seamless.
I know, right? It's fun to be seeing you and interacting with you in real time.
And everybody else that's watching right now.
Right, exactly. Send us your comments, send us your questions. It's only just over 2 weeks into the new year, and I feel like it's already been like a month. It's been a very busy new year for me. We're adding syndication partners to Horror Talk with Kristen West still into the new year, which is exciting. We're about to wrap up the second season. We're planning the third season. And it's been really great. And I also had an article come out on Bustle last week talking about one of my other passions, astrology, where we're talking about inconjunct signs, which are some of the hardest relationships, especially romantically, you can have. So I put that up on my Facebook group, Fans of Kristen West. You can learn if you and your sweetheart are inconjunct and what you need to do about it. So it's
if you aren't
week.
Or are.
Exactly. What does it mean? So
figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm looking down. When I look down, I'm looking down at our Facebook watchers here. We have Lucy Brummett. Hi, Lucy. We miss you. Happy New Year, and thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching, please feel free to comment, ask questions. We are going to be talking about resolution solution. I don't know why I picked that word because it's so hard to say, but I am looking for a solution to making resolutions. I don't love making resolutions. Kristen, I'm conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my story. I don't like making resolutions, but when I did last year, and when I really concentrated on it, focused on it, and sat down and made a big deal about it, made my whole family do it, I accomplished every single resolution that I made. So of course, the natural thing for me to do is beat myself up and say, damn, I should have gone bigger. I should have reached higher. I should have asked for more or put down bigger goals. So now as a lot of women do, I tend to, jump all over myself and think maybe I'm not doing it right. So this year I said to myself that I'm not going to make a resolution. I'm big on goal settings, don't get me wrong, and focusing, and I'm always reading these self-help books, and I'm actually reading Think and Grow Rich now, and I'm all into that. But I'm picking one word this year to focus on because I feel like we lose our focus if we pick too many resolutions. But then on the other hand, I was very positive with my resolutions conclusion last year. So what do I do?
I've actually picked a word too, and I find it's easier to focus on that one word as if it's kind of like the value or the sort of soil from which everything else springs. I've just done that one word thing this year, and what I did actually was I wrote it on a little piece of cardstock, and then I decorated it, and then I put it in a place where I have to look at it every day.
Yes, me too.
Right in my peripheral vision. Actually, it's right over here. So that has helped me because I think it's not just about what we're going to do and the things we're going to accomplish, but really it's about what we value. And really,
good point.
Really sticking to making sure that we're within our value system, because you can do and 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 do, but if you stray too far from your value system, what good is it?
That's true, and I feel like not only am I going to be more focused this year with one word, but that one word, a lot of things are stemming from it. And I think if we keep going back to that one word, then we'll really get a lot from it. Although, like I said, I'm a little conflicted because last year I made, I think, 5 resolutions and they all came true and they all came to fruition. Mm-hmm. So it is a little conflicting. I think it's 87% of us don't follow through with our resolutions. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it's a really high number. And I think one of the things is that we don't give ourselves permission to fail, and we don't give ourselves enough permission to say, it's usually when we talk about resolutions, one of the traps we get into is that we've got to accomplish it 100%. And studies show that it takes 40 days of consistency to create a new habit. Okay, well,
Uh,
the 40th day of the new year is February 9th. So you need to give yourself at least until February 9th, in my view, before you can say, "Oh, I completely failed at this." And here's the thing, is you're not going to be able to do everything you want in a given day. There's just not enough time. And I think people with resolutions in particular have to be more compassionate to themselves too, because you need to make changes, but change doesn't happen in a day. You
Change
know,
doesn't happen in a day, and sometimes it doesn't happen in a year, or from what I found out, it could take more than a year.
right? Exactly.
I think you're right. It's time that we give permission for ourselves for it to take as long as it takes. You know, it's really a process. We have Ann Ciccone from Atlanta on Facebook, and Lucy, you guys, if you have any questions for us, please let us know. Like I said, Kristen and I, a lot of the purpose of this broadcast being on Facebook Live is so that you guys can comment and say hello, but also, comment on your concerns and questions. We always don't have the answer to everything, but we like to just kind of air it out and talk about it and see what we can do. And I'm going to put up the website now. I don't know where it's going to go, but I love being like the controller over here of the airplane. I think Hello, Kristen. I think my face is kind of blocked there with the website, but that's all right. So we are What Women Want broadcast right now, because we changed it from What Women Want radio. If you're just tuning in, What Women Want Talk Radio is now What Women Want Show. And our website is whatwomenwantbroadcast.com. And we're talking about our resolution solutions. Now, Lucy is saying that she loves all of this. We are both on point. Kristen, we can't be that good.
Well, you know what? We're committed to our excellence, which is, I think, the thing that's most important. And sometimes your excellence is, getting out of bed and putting your pajamas on after you feel like crap. And sometimes your excellence is, hosting a conference for 300 ambitious women and dazzling them all with your beauty and charm, like Judy does every October. So
You're so complimentary. Oh my gosh. And sometimes it's having 8,600 careers and excelling in all of them, as Kristen does, and winning awards and bringing basically everything she touches to gold. So that's, pretty honorable as well, I have to say.
Well, now I'm blushing, and now but it's true that you really have to focus on what's going to be your excellence, and your excellence changes from day to day and moment to moment. And
Yeah.
I love that we're calling it What Women Want broadcast now, because it's really more descriptive of what we actually do. We're still on, we're still on Spreaker, we're on iHeartRadio. I think we're up on Spotify now. I have to check. But there are so many ways to interact with what we're doing, which is exciting, and it's great to expand in those areas. And I think, one of the most important female mentors in my life, of the many things she taught me, she said, you have to know when to expand and you have to know when to contract. And I think a lot of times we get in this, we think that resolutions have to always be expansive. Oh, I've got to grow my business. And that's great. That's a great goal to have. I've got to increase my social media following. I think the only contractive resolution most people share is, oh, I've got to lose weight. you know, I think that's the one. But most of the time we're so focused on expanding or getting bigger or getting better that we don't know when to trim things down and to let go of things. And that's an important part of a process. You can't carry everything, nor should you try.
Right, that's true. And you know what? I feel like, and me beating myself up for the small resolutions last year, instead, I should be rewarding myself and praising myself that, you know what? Wow, I actually accomplished everything I set out to do in the beginning of the year. But here I am thinking to myself, oh my gosh, it's not good enough. And I think we automatically tend to go down that path. So those are my issues. I think I have to work out with, really, like, I guess it all comes around to giving yourself permission, right?
No, it's true. You have to give yourself permission. And what's interesting, you did this with your family, right? You sat down and you made resolutions with your family.
Yes, and
Did,
speaking of my family, my daughter's texting me to pick her up at the school. And I'm like, whoops, I forgot to
whoops,
tell her to call
whoops.
dad.
It's
Yeah.
okay. Well, it's, did you all keep each other accountable for your resolutions too? Was that part of your process as a family?
Yeah, we did. And it's much easier to do that with this one word. I'll tell you that
Ah,
because we just kind of keep reminding each other. And it's not, I feel like the one word puts less pressure on you and you almost want to accomplish more because you let it, like you said, expand,
hmm.
your imagination, your ambition, your desire to do more things. So one of my daughters, picked vigorous. She wants to be
Okay.
healthy. She wants to try to get healthy and fit. And my other daughter picked confidence. So I'll just kind of throw it out once in a while. And they won't, roll their eyes and go, oh, mom, type of thing, because I feel like it's just one word. I'm not saying, well, you didn't do your resolution of blah, 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 blah. And then I start to sound like the wah, 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 like I'm
Right.
peanuts. So,
Well, there's more, like you said, there's more possibility in that. There are many ways to be vigorous. There are many ways to be confident. Um, you know, I took what Monica Shaw had to heart at the conference. How many revenue generating activities are you doing on a daily basis? So my word is not revenue, but it's monetization. Am I monetizing my talent? Am I monetizing my time? Am I monetizing my efforts? Is what I'm doing actually yielding monetization? And what's interesting about me working with that word in such a way is that now it sort of frames all of the effort I put in. I tend to overwork myself and not always reap the benefits of the rewards I should get monetarily.
right.
So so that
And you
word,
know what's funny is my word is profit.
well, there you go.
Yeah, so I'm the same way. I want to make sure that I'm profiting from what I'm doing, besides, of course, giving back to charities and things like that. That's all a different story. But, my word is profit. And it's actually a two-pronged word for me because prophet is also someone who's inspirational in a godly way. So I am searching for more on that, but also I want to be inspirational to people too. So prophet for me has double meaning, which I'm a Gemini, so you'll know very
Right,
well that I can't do anything in one way. I have to
right.
just always put the double thing on it. I had twins. So yeah, so that's mine. That's funny. It's prophet. And
Well, and a prophet is also someone who sees the future for better or worse. And when I always say a Gemini knows the way the wind blows. They know better than
hmm,
anyone the way the wind is going to blow because it's an air sign. And
yeah, because we're up there blowing around all the time,
right, it's a
spinning in
mutable.
circles.
Right, it's a mutable air sign. So it's literally it's kind of the airiness of air is what Gemini
Oh, I
is.
want to say hi to Elise Getzler, by the way. She's on Facebook watching us and commented. Thank you, Elise, for your support.
Hi,
Hello.
Elise.
Sorry.
But no, I love that idea because language, there's so many secrets in language. And when you really engage with language and you pay attention to language and you look at the what words are similar and what words, you'll find this incredible amount of information and language just beyond just getting through talking to someone.
Hmm.
Um, it's like you know I'm trying to think of a good example, and it's but like profit and profit, they're similar enough, even though they're spelled differently, to get that association in the mind. And I think one of the skills we don't use enough is our associative thinking. We tend to be right on goal. We tend to try and charge right towards a target. And sometimes you need to explore the peripheral areas around what you really want in order to get what you really want. There's a internet guru. His name is Sam Ovens. He's a sales guru. And he says you don't always need to thrust exactly towards where you want. Sometimes you need to hit something at an angle, sort of like a billiard ball. Is that if you angle yourself towards it, eventually you'll hit it and not necessarily charging at it is the way to go.
And bang your head and break yourself against it, right?
Exactly.
It's what I
Exactly.
do sometimes. Ann Ciccone said her word is collaboration. I like that.
I love that.
That's awesome. That can go a lot of ways. And Kristen, you were saying earlier about words and how they look and what they mean and how they feel. And I, in my opinion, resolutions with the long sentences and descriptions and thoughts and all that type of thing, for someone like me, I don't know how the rest of you feel, and you can comment if you like on our Facebook post, but I feel like if there are too many words, then I start to think too much. And again, that comes from a Gemini state of being where I have, so many personalities and I'm always thinking. So I feel like this one word really does kind of just narrow it down to a healthy focus.
No, it's true. And I think one of the things about when you have a laundry list of resolutions is how do you give them equal mental time? When you have a list of like 5 of these things or 3 of these, how do you focus on one a day and rotate them out? Do you focus on one month and
Yeah, you
one
could spread
next month?
yourself too thin.
Right, you could spread yourself too thin, and that's what I was talking about with accountability. Is not only do you have to have the resolution or the words, you have to figure out a strategy for integrating it in your life in a way that you can manage. I love Ann's word collaboration because there's a secret in language there. We think of collaborating as working together, but the LAB part of the word lab is lips. So it's also about talking to each other. It's not just about doing together. It's about talking to each other. And those are little,
Interesting.
because lab, LAB, Latin is lips. So it's talk. Yeah, it's about talking too.
Oh, we have here Lucy Brummett's word is time. That's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Something you can't buy and you can't give it back. And you can't get more of it on purpose.
Exactly. The other week I was talking about Maxine Waters and, reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time. And that's
Yeah, but how can you reclaim it when it's already gone?
Well, you can set healthy boundaries of how your time is used going forward, And that's been a big thing for me too, is not letting my time get wasted on things and situations that are not monetizing.
You know what that comes from, don't you?
Oh yeah.
The creative brain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It does. Well, that's the excuse I give anyway.
No, it's true. I mean, I was beating I am not. I'm wondering if my mother's watching this. I gave her the link. I said, I'm not the most organized person in the sense that I don't have a file. I have piles for everything. I don't have files for everything yet.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
okay.
I was beating myself up over one specific paper I needed, and I was having a hard time finding it in the piles because I was moving faster than I should have been and had too much on my schedule. And it really bothered me. I mean, it just drove me crazy. And I finally let go of the fact that I need to probably, kind of outsource some of my personal paper organization. And that's okay because I accomplish a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
But part of that time thing is being aware that we do have a finite time on Earth. We're not going to live 200 years. And
so I'm not the only one that beats myself up, I guess, over stuff that I haven't done or accomplished.
Oh, I do it every day. Seriously, I do
it's
it every
awful.
Day.
It's not good because we are so accomplished and we do so much.
This is my weekly plan, and this is my little check boxes. And this is what goes on day by day. And then I'm not able to scratch everything off. Sometimes I have to shift stuff around.
I wonder how many of you out there give yourself too much to do within one day. My yoga teacher, actually, I blogged about this. She was talking, I was surprised that a yoga teacher was talking so much, but she was, and she really had a lot to say. She was saying, how many of you kind of go through the day, you have a list of things to do, and you get to the end of the day, and only one of them is crossed off. And we're all sitting there like, oh. And it's so true. We can, especially creative people like us, we get pulled and pushed in all different ways. And entrepreneurs too. I mean, this is a big problem with entrepreneurship. Monica Shaw is always talking about this type of thing. Is that you just have too much on your plate and you don't know what to go after next. So getting back to the resolution solution, that's what we were talking about. Is just really focusing in on either a number, like 2 or 3 resolutions, or just one word, and branching out from that one word and finding inspiration and learning from that one word everywhere. You can really do a lot with one word, especially the words I'm hearing: collaboration, time. Mine is profit, yours is monetization.
Right.
So you can really, and the fact that one of my daughters picked confidence because she doesn't have it, so she wants to focus in on it and learn how to get it and really how to expand it. I think it's brilliant.
I was chatting up Hal Havens. He was in the original Night of the Demons, and we were talking about fear. And one of the things that we talked about with fear was time management. And what he thought, which was interesting to me, was that we overschedule ourselves because we fear the future. We pile all of these to-do lists on ourselves that are not accomplishable because we have too much anxiety about the future. Because we delude ourselves into thinking, well, if I just do enough, the future will take care of itself. I thought that was a really profound insight from him. And it's interesting, and I've been more mindful of that as I schedule myself, schedule production, schedule other people to do things and work. How much anxiety do I have about the future if I'm overloading myself, or perhaps asking others maybe too much?
Yeah, for me it was because I was definitely overworking myself and overscheduling myself for the past several years. And I realized my fear was from being laid off years ago during the recession and not being busy enough. And
Right.
so I think subconsciously I was making myself so busy so that I wouldn't have to feel that emptiness, there. But that's not the way you should go about it, right? Necessarily.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a good point, though, with the fear of the future. And that, I guess that's maybe also my subconscious way of thinking of the future, that if I keep busy enough that, I'm going to have plenty of things to do if that ever happens again, which it won't because I'm an entrepreneur now. But, it's definitely something to look at.
Well, and here's the thing is that a lot of people are in that trap, and we've been taught to be maximally productive. I mean, American productivity is at an all-time high right now. But look at the personal cost of that. Look at our stress levels, the lack of family time, the lack of
I was
quality
just about
time.
to say that, yeah.
Being productive and busy is not all it's cracked up to be. And I think it's very hard for women because we're very, we want to prove ourselves in the workplace. Many people, moms, are second shifters. They work at work and then they work at home. And we don't give ourselves enough time to rest. And one of the biggest things I've done for myself this year, and I mean, we're barely
so far 16 days.
16 days in.
No, but it's good. Keep going.
I've scheduled myself 2 10-minute breaks during the day where I just lay on the floor with a pillow and do absolutely freaking nothing. That is one of the hardest things for me to do, is to allow myself to do nothing. And this is not even like sitting there and thinking about my word. I am to do nothing. I am just to lay there with the pillow and let my mind wander and calm down and just focus on my breathing, because our stress levels get so high that we don't know how to do anything but fight or flight. We don't know how to do either. And it's like, and like you, I felt anxiety where I've been in severe fight mode where, okay, I got to get in there. I got to push this forward. I got to do something. And I'm trying to get that habit under control, get that anxiety under control. So I've really budgeted in rest time for me to do that. And I have to say, I think it's working for me. And we don't give ourselves enough worth.
Yeah, no, and
list.
that's a good point. I like that you're learning how to change your perspective of things. And
Hmm.
I think that's one of the keys to being uber successful is really taking a step back and thinking, wow, that, it actually I'm responsible for what I'm going through right now, or at least, partly responsible. Because I think many times, Kristen, we blame it on too much social media, talking about politics too much, or the president, or whatever we blame it on. And it's like, Bruce and I, my husband and I, sometimes look at each other and we're like, oh, President Trump's probably, and it has nothing to do with politics. So it's like, people just find things to blame, or other people to blame things on. And I like that you're taking responsibility and figuring it out and thinking, okay, what can I do to make myself better?
Well, I think one of the things you have to be so careful of when you're making a resolution or choosing a word or thinking about your word is how much you can only control you. You can't control whether people like you or not. You can't
Right.
control external events. None of us can control the shutdown right now. There are think about the people who are furloughed right now. They're federal workers. They can't control the Senate. They can't control Congress. They can't control the president. The people in England right now, they can't control what the Parliament's doing about Brexit. They voted for it. Now they have to deal with it. But you can only control really your reactions to things and how you respond to people.
Right.
And that's just about it. I mean, I could be sitting here, I'm going to knock on wood. I could be sitting here and we could have, the next Northridge earthquake. I can't control that. And
Yeah.
and that's what, with resolutions, a lot of people use resolutions I need to get control back in my life. Well, you can have all those external goals you want, but really at the end of the day, you got to control your thoughts and your responses to everything
That's
and everyone first.
That's right. It starts from the inside out. And Ann Ciccone, going back to that, giving yourself a break, she's saying, lay with your legs up against the wall. Very good for a lot of things. And that's so funny because I just started doing that every day. Couple of weeks ago, I guess maybe at the beginning of the year. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I started doing that with you're supposed to lay with your tush up against the wall and your legs straight up in the air, and it gives circulation to the heart and does a whole bunch of other good things. So yeah, I started doing that. That's a great suggestion too.
Yeah, I love
Anyway,
that too. I love that
yeah.
too. The first time I ever did that, I was in the Miss Texas pageant. I'd been in heels for about 12 hours straight dancing. And that's the only way the blood would drain out of my feet at the end of the day. But,
Oh, you
um,
poor baby. How old were you?
oh, how old was I? 20? 20,
Oh,
yeah. Sophomore in college, yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, those days, those wild
So try it
summers.
now.
No, actually that I do yin yoga. That's part of my regular yoga practice because you hold the pose for like two or three, you hold the pose statically for 2 or 3 minutes. And that's one of the yin yoga poses. It's very therapeutic. I like it too.
Nice. Well, we are up with our half an hour. We are so happy that you all joined us today for our pre-beta soft launch of What Women Want show. Yay, you're going to see our faces now. So not sure if, who's happy about that or not, but we are certainly thrilled and want you to be involved and comment and like and share, and certainly go onto whatwomenwantbroadcast.com because we have all of the archives there, incredible shows that are on there that you can listen to any time of day or night. And Kristen, Happy New Year. Welcome back, baby.
I'm so excited, and I'm so excited to be doing this, and I'm thinking this is going to be really fun for everyone. I'm so excited that we decided to grow in this direction. It's really a good thing.
It is. It's going to be a great thing. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you
Bye.
next week, 8 o'clock Eastern time here on What Women Want show page. Good night.